If a person rinses their mouth or inhales water and the water enters their throat while they are fasting, does that break their fast or not? First, all four schools of thought agree that a fasting person does not break their fast by rinsing their mouth, whether it is during ablution, bathing, or otherwise. For example, if a person brings water and rinses their mouth without anything entering their throat, the consensus is that whether one is performing ablution or bathing, or even if they are just rinsing their mouth without doing either, it is still acceptable. The evidence for this is that when our master Umar ibn al-Khattab asked the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, about kissing while fasting, he said, "What if you rinsed your mouth with water while you are fasting?" I said, "There is no harm." He replied, "Then what remains?" This indicates that rinsing the mouth for a fasting person, whether during ablution or not, does not break the fast according to the agreement of scholars. Scholars disagree if rinsing the mouth or inhaling water entering the throat breaks the fast. We have two cases. One is when one exaggerates in rinsing and inhaling. Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, and Hanbali scholars say if a fasting person exaggerates in rinsing and something enters their throat, it breaks their fast. Accept it means, oh yes. He overdoes rinsing his mouth and nose. Most Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, and Hanbali jurists say if the fasting person exaggerates in rinsing his mouth and nose and something enters his throat, he has broken his fast. The evidence for this is the saying of the Prophet Muhammad PBUH to Al-Qaid bin Sabra, exaggerate in inhaling water unless you are fasting. They said the Prophet PBUH prohibited exaggeration to protect the fast, indicating it breaks the fast. Because if the entry of water during exaggeration were not prohibited while fasting, there would be no point in the prohibition. The messenger, PBUH, forbade you are exaggerating. If he forbids you and you exaggerate and water enters your throat, then you would have broken your fast. What's the point then? This is the first opinion, that if a person exaggerates, then in this case, they break their fast. The second opinion, you are exaggerating, so if he forbids you and you exaggerate and water enters your throat, then in that case, you have not broken your fast. So what would be the point of the prohibition in this case? This is the first opinion, that if a person exaggerates, then in this case they break their fast. The Hanbali opinion states that if a person exaggerates in rinsing or inhaling and water enters their throat, it does not break their fast because it was unintentional. Similar to flour dust entering the throat while sifting. Even if one exaggerates in rinsing and inhaling, it does not break the fast. The same applies when one performs rinsing and inhaling normally. Subhanallah, if water enters the throat, it does not break the fast. Or for example, if someone was walking in a place where people are working, like in a flour mill, and dust enters their throat, they say it does not break the fast. They also say that even if one exaggerates in rinsing and inhaling and water enters their throat, it still breaks the fast. The second case is when one does not exaggerate in rinsing and inhaling, but rather performs it normally. Subhanallah, if the water enters their throat, he should not exaggerate in rinsing and inhaling, but rather perform it normally. Subhanallah, if the water enters his throat, here, scholars disagreed with two opinions. The first, from Hanafi, Maliki, and Shafi'i schools, states that it breaks the fast if a man kisses his wife and ejaculates, or if water from rinsing reaches the stomach. This is based on the Prophet Muhammad's sayings, comparing kissing to rinsing and advising against exaggerating inhaling water while fasting to prevent it reaching the throat. The second opinion, from Shafi'i and Hanbali schools, holds that if water unintentionally reaches the stomach without exaggeration, the fast is not invalidated, similar to dust from flour sifting. In fasting, as a precaution to avoid water reaching the throat, if it happens, the fast is broken. This is the first opinion. The second correct opinion, according to Shafi'i and Hanbali schools, states that if a person does not exaggerate in rinsing and inhaling and water enters their throat, it does not invalidate the fast because it reached the stomach unintentionally. They compare it to dust from flour when sifting. If dust enters the throat, it does not break the fast. Similarly, if a fly enters the throat, it does not break the fast. So, if a person performs ablution normally and water unintentionally enters their throat without exaggerating, then according to Shafi'i and Hanbali, it does not break the fast. This opinion is correct and Allah knows best. They said that the water reached his throat without excess or intention, similar to if a fly flew in and entered his throat. It does not break the fast in this case. So, if a person performs ablution normally and water unintentionally enters their throat without exaggerating in rinsing or inhaling, then according to the Shafi'i and Hanbali opinions, it does not break their fast. This opinion is the correct one, and Allah the Most High knows best.